He also brought up Gabriel Jesus and his happiness with his performance. Aguero, he came back from his injury. He's out injured again. But looking at his contract, it's going to run out at the end of the season, Danny. And in January, when the transfer window opens, he's free to sign a pre-agreement contract with another club. Might even be sold if they want to make a profit from him. How important is it that Aguero stays, or should it be time to get ready to say goodbye to their record goal scorer?
Well, I think it should be up to Sergio Aguero. I mean, he's earned the right. If he's seeing out his contract for a reason, I don't know. I don't know anything about his personal situation. One thing for sure is if he is looking to leave and go back to maybe his native country or whatever, they're going to have to replace, because you can't rely just on Jesus. They'll have to bring someone in, and I would imagine that the conversations with Aguero will already be happening. He has, over the last couple of years, been regularly injured. There's no doubt in his quality. I mean, he's been one of the best strikers the Premier League's ever seen. But you really want a striker who you can rely on for the majority of the season to be in your team. And the older he's getting, the more unreliable his physicality is becoming, or his physical condition. So it's going to be a fascinating one. Yeah, I'm surprised that that's playing out the way it is. You'd think that he would be tied down, but I suppose you could argue when they're at that age, getting to that point, and they've done what they've done for the club, that it's not a problem for City to let it happen, as they did with David Silva.
JMO, he also claimed that he'll never leave until City win the Champions League.
Who? Aguero or Pep?
Aguero did.
Yeah, well, then he'll sign a new contract then, isn't it? Because it's not going to happen this year, I don't suppose. Hopefully for Man City, of course, you would want them to win the Champions League this year. Sorry, Dan, and your Liverpool connections. I've got them as well. But Dan is right. I mean, this is the thing. And when we look at these statistics, is Aguero's injury this season part of the compilation of games or the compiled games? Pep mentions Trent there. And as I say, Trent would never come off and would have played the same amount of minutes, you would argue. So where would the substitution bit work for Trent? I think with Aguero, his age is going against him. The fact that he's had the injury at the end of last season, which might be a continuation into this season. The fact that Manchester City have got to find a replacement, the likes of Torres, who could theoretically take his place alongside Jesus, because it'll be a different dynamic than Aguero. But Manchester City will have players who can do that. Foden's another one. I mean, if anything, Man City start becoming more like Liverpool than they were Man City, using Aguero as that sort of focal point for their attack. So, but Pep, correct me if I'm wrong, but Pep's future is in question as well. What I said at the beginning of the show, when I watched his pre-match interview, he replicated that in the post-match interview. He looks slightly aloof. This is a guy, again, like Klopp, who can break the game down. Klopp said it very cleanly about what he thought the game went like, even where they made mistakes. Whereas Pep's kind of, yeah, well, they scored and we had a penalty we should have made. And it was just kind of a little bit distant. And when such an intelligent man who doesn't mind talking the truth starts speaking in coded word, in a sense, then I start getting worried about Manchester City.